Hello, friends, and welcome to this very special edition of the Wake Up with Gratitude podcast. I'm your host, Julie Boyer, and today I have not one, but two very special guests. I'm excited to introduce Jeanette and Kathy. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Hello. It's so great to have you both here. I am just thrilled because we're going to talk about gratitude, and that's going to be the focus today because these ladies are the co-founders of the Gratitude and Appreciation Summit. Now, Jeanette Y Martin is the founder of MYBC Consulting. She is a relationship marketing expert, a social media whisperer, and also, like me, really passionate about lifting the world up with gratitude. Kathy Fester calls herself another relationship marketing strategist. We got to get into this relationship marketing because it's really important and critical. And I know that. And she's with Greener Still Send Out Cards. She has a really interesting story of how she came to her gratitude journey. And these women have created this amazing summit that we're going to get into. I was just reading this from the introduction on the website, and to raise the level of gratitude and appreciation in the world. I can't think of two people that I just could not feel more aligned with than the two of you today. So welcome, welcome. Let's get into this. Okay. Kathy, you can go first. Tell us just
Okay.
a little bit about this. Like, I know you have an interesting path and a career that kind of led you to being this gratitude
Yeah.
and relationship expert.
Well, thank you, Julie. Thank you so much for this opportunity because it's something that both of us are incredibly passionate for, and our paths crossed in a very unusual way. And she's like my sister. Jeanette's like my sister. I tell you, it's crazy. And I have a sister, so I have another one. Yay! So yeah, I'm a master teacher, school teacher. I've taught K through 12 for over 30 years, and I connections and building relationships with people is part of my DNA. It always has been. I love people. I love my kids. I have over 300 kids this year that I love each and every one of them. But life progresses and I start thinking about retirement, and I'm looking forward to it because my bucket list is huge. I don't have enough lifetime to create my bucket list and complete it. So my husband and I have a daughter, and she was going through some difficult times, and it was costing us $2,000, $3,000 a month to help care for her. And it's not covered by medical, and you'd think it would be being a teacher, but it's not covered. And then we did some renos, and I don't know if you've ever done renos, Julie, but we did it right, which means you go over budget. So we started bleeding money financially. Like, we just couldn't make ends meet with our mortgage and my daughter's medical needs and the renovation that went way over. And I got invited to this party and introduced to send out cards, and it has literally changed my life in so many positive ways. And it's not so much the business portion of it, it's the connections with others, literally all around the world, and just sharing that like-mindedness of relationships and how important they are. And I do call myself a relationship marketing strategist, whether it's got to do with send out cards or not. I help business owners figure out how to market themselves on a relationship basis rather than the traditional marketing of big poster boards that clutter up our side streets and all that kind of stuff. So and it's become part of my teaching practice too. When's the last time you as a parent got a card in the mail from the teacher saying, your son did a really outstanding job in this project. Here's a picture of his project. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Usually when you hear from a teacher, it's something negative. So I really do build it in every aspect of my life. And now I help others. And then Jeanette and I met at a networking event, and I hired her, and she'll tell you her journey as to what she does, but I hired her as my social media guru because I was afraid of it. Because as a teacher, we have to watch our P's and Q's, right? Certain things we can say and not say. And Facebook was really quite frowned upon not to use it. And here I am embarking on that realm. And I don't know, long story short, we're now co-founders and having a blast together and meeting people like yourself. So that's my story, short and sweet. But yeah.
Well, I appreciate too that, it's often in our deepest and darkest struggles that we look for these kind of solutions and where gratitude shows its face, right? It
Yes.
shows up. And I'm really a big believer that gratitude and grief and difficulty can live in the same place. It's such a really cool topic we can explore. But I want to give Jeanette a chance to introduce herself. And she has to start by telling us about the why, because I want to hear about the why.
Well, I often introduce myself as Jeanette Y Martin. There is a Jeanette Martin that's a real estate agent in Texas. So when I set up my social media platforms, I'm like, oh, my middle name is Yvonne. So that's a Y. And I definitely know my why in life. So that's why it's there. My company, MYBC Consulting. I'm going to tell you, I live in Langley, British Columbia, and a lot of people think it stands for My British Columbia. Julie, that's way too easy. It stands for Move Your Bum Chum Consulting. And throughout my life, being a middle child of a blended family, we were the Brady Bunch. My dad met my stepmom, but she's been my mom for 50 odd years. We blended together, and we've been taught that you have to move your butt in life in order for you to get anything in life. So when I had to come up with my company name, that's where MYBC comes from. I worked for big box retail for the majority of my career. I've always worked for the big guys, the Staples, the Starbucks, the Reitmans of the world. And relationship to me starts with knowing that person's black book. I'm from the generation of the mid 80s when I started getting into retail, and creating the black book on somebody of their true likes, their birthdays, they love galas, their kids, what they do on the sidelines on the weekend. And that was so important for relationship. So all through my career working for big box retail, choosing the profession of a customer service person, going through the University of Life to do this, back in 2014, I decided to start my own company and take that big box thinking down to the small box retailer or a small box business person. And I have a very holistic approach to my training and my relationship building. I call myself a business relationship strategist because I really think about the different modalities of learning. Are you kinetic, auditory, visual? And sendo cards came to me through Kathy with that kinetic, that feeling first in order to build that relationship. And the social media whisperer aspect, it's funny. The other day I did the Google for that terminology, and there is a company that is called that, but my face is the only one connected right now on Google with that word, those two words. And it's because I quietly believe if we go about our life in an uplifting way about others, our community, our business, when somebody else shouts out about you, it has far better relationship. The credibility is there. So that's why I call myself a social media whisperer. If we quietly go about our life, and like you are helping us, you're shouting out about us.
Yeah.
Kathy and I are quietly going about putting these gratitude and appreciation summits around the world.
I really enjoy what you said there about, shouting other people out. It is a real gift when someone else edifies you, right? It's not about you telling the world how great you are. Although I don't have anything wrong with that. I think it's great when we, especially as women, it's okay that we shout each other out, like shout ourselves out and speak up. But you are so correct, Jeanette, that when someone else edifies you, when someone else shines a light on you, and you're not the one standing up, in front of the crowd, that is a really great way to grow the community, to grow your level of expertise and your recognition throughout. So it's so interesting because that's really what the podcast is about, right? I bring guests on, and the podcast is about my guests, being able to share their stories and just shining a light on them. So that is fantastic. And I can understand why you both would understand that part of, what we do and how we do it, because that's really underlying gratitude, is showing appreciation for others and caring. So
Yeah.
the two of you met, and where did this idea kind of come from for the Gratitude and Appreciation
Oh,
Summit?
Jeanette.
Well, it starts, the tennis match of this going back and forth started with, of course, Kathy hired me to take the fear out of social media, because when we share our truth on social media, there's no fear with that. And she gave me Cody Bateman's book for my birthday in 2019, The Power of Human Connections, Relationship Marketing. For my birthday, I read the book in a day and a half, marked it, highlighted it, tabbed it, just went, oh my gosh, this fellow uses cards. I use social media to make sure people are recognized out there in the world. And kind of sat with it. And then there was two people in my life, Aaron Sully, who is written a book about Engage, Connect, Grow. And Frida Lombard is a visual artist. And they wanted to do a visualization word seminar, and says, Jeanette, will you be our guinea pig? And I'm like, I'm up for anything. I'm curious for anything. And they said, draw what's in your heart. And then we're going to fill in the words in between the pictures. So I sat there and just drew this stage and hearts and tables and connecting, and Frida went, wow, that's pretty literal. And I went, I know, this has been on my heart since like January. And this was like, I think March. And I put my words on amongst it. And Aaron was like, wow, this is, again, wow. So about 2 weeks later, I met Kathy for one of our learning sessions, one of our social media sessions. And I whipped out this piece of paper, this cardboard, and I went, Kathy, I want to do this. I see this vision of bringing all different colored people's hearts on the stage and sharing their stories, and how gratitude helped them, how they're using appreciation to better their business. And I even mean like we had a car repair guy who was going to have a table, because the more that we appreciate our car, we're appreciating the environment. So the holistic approach. And I showed the picture to Kathy, and Kathy, you said,
yes. Let's do it.
And I gotta
not
tell
just a yes, if it's not a hell yes, right? Like,
well, I don't use that. I gotta
tell you to find
heck
those
yes.
people. Yeah, heck yes.
Heck yes.
The people in your life that step into your yeses with you confidently, fearlessly, not knowing the outcome. We just knew our why. We started to figure out our how. We knew our what. And Kathy can take it from here on how she's helping the whole process, because as you can tell, I have squirrel syndrome, and I have a great partner that is able to reel in the imagery and make it all come to be with writing basically our manifesto.
Yeah.
So before we get into Kathy's in the next step of the story, I just wanted to reflect on that moment of, you were inspired to draw something, and you talked about the different ways that people learn, right? So this is a really cool way. Maybe, a lot of times when we talk about gratitude, we talk about writing in a journal. And that might not be a way for someone to do that. They might not feel comfortable doing that. That might not be the way that they choose to express themselves. So I love what you said about taking, what was in your head, what was in your heart, and drawing a picture of it. As adults, the adult coloring thing is definitely coming back, and we're allowed to, but doesn't it feel sometimes like as an adult, well, I guess not you, Kathy, as being educated in fine arts and still teaching, but most adults are scared to pick up a colored pencil or crayon. So I think that's a good message for people to pick up, is that it's okay for you to find a different way to express what's in your heart. And look how powerful it was, because you showed her the picture and then you said, heck yes. And then what happened next?
Well, heck yes. I think our whole approach is very holistic. It's a really good choice of words. And it was completely lined up with my belief system. I'm a holistic teacher. That's how I teach my kids. That's how I teach my own daughter. That's what we have in our family. I have a background of experience running conferences. I think the largest one that I've done is for 900 people. I used to work on a provincial level, a national level, and an international level with a music teacher hat on. So I don't know whether she recognized those strengths. I assume she did, and thought, hey, this would be a good partnership to stay organized, because Jeanette knows herself very well. and we just made a good partnership, the yin and yang, you know. One thing that's very evident to us, and this is pre-COVID, remember,
Yeah.
this is 2019, pre-COVID, where there was so much stuff happening in the world, is so much stuff happening in the world. We just need to connect with people on a different level and show gratitude and appreciation and provide a format that can help people connect with that. I think everybody knows it intellectually, but how do you actually do it and put it into practice? So as a result, we are reaching out to all sorts of people like yourself that have these specialties or these little niches that are present. And it's really the same message for every single one of you. It's but delivered in a different way. Again, holistic learning, right? And now in retrospect, something was telling us to do this because COVID happened. And I cannot tell you that world is crying for the opportunity to bring kindness to one another. And we spend a lot of time talking about the difference between gratitude and appreciation, where gratitude is very much the heart, what you're feeling. And the appreciation is the action that we take to show it. And quite often our society puts the two together as meaning the same thing. And I don't believe they are, right? And I love how Jeanette always talks about thank you, and really meaning that thank you. I actually find myself stopping now, even greeting a teacher in the hallway. It's like, how are you doing? Where usually it's, how are you doing, right? Yeah. And you never really get a response. It's that token, okay, I recognize you're there, but I'm too busy to pay any attention to you. And we need to slow down. And has COVID taught us that? Yes. How can we build on that? That's what these summits are all about, so that we can continue to make those relationships more meaningful.
And I really love that you are doing this right now at this time. Just for those that are listening right now, I just want to confirm the date. So it's going to be on Saturday, April 24th, and it's 2021. But maybe you're listening to this sometime in the future, but that's when this is going live, and it's going to be starting at 9:45 a.m. Pacific Standard Time till noon. And we're going to make sure everyone has the link to find it and all the ways to enroll. But I wanted to just highlight the timing of it. You know, it's about a year and a bit after COVID, the first COVID lockdown happened. And one reason I really like the timing of this summit is that because it's your pre-summit, right? It's your mini, and then there's a much bigger one happening in October.
That's correct.
Why I like the timing of this is that I wrote a blog post in April of 2020. Oh. And I called it a tsunami of gratitude. Because at that time, if you recall, we were really still there was a lot of fear with COVID, and there was a lot of misunderstanding. We didn't know. And we also, I don't know if you remember this, you probably do, we would go outside at 7:00 and bang the pots.
Yes.
In gratitude, right? And we put the hearts in our windows and the hearts on our garbage cans. And we really respected and were kind towards our grocery store workers and all these things. And I wrote all this, and I just reflected that these people were always there, but we didn't notice them or appreciate them. And that my prayer is that we continue to treat these people with the same kind of gratitude and kindness and respect, which unfortunately, as we know, people they're in gratitude for a little bit of time, and then they go back to forgetting. And often actually now, unfortunately, some people that are frontline workers are being harassed. Yeah. So I'm grateful for this timing from where I can see it. So for you, why this time? You're doing 2 summits this year, a mini one and a bigger one. Talk to me a little bit about what the timing meant for you.
Well, when we actually did 2 summits last year. We attempted to do one on January the 10th, 2020. We had a bit of a snowstorm in it. So we had to kind of put a little bit of kibosh, safety first. Yeah. Then we wanted to do it again. So we were forethinking back in January, everything was going to be great in June 13th. So we were going to do a in-person again. And we all know what happened in along the way. So we did again a 2-hour kind of sneak peek there to what the Gratitude and Appreciation Summit was. And that was a little free event so we could see. And we had people from all over the world that tuned in for that 2 hours. So we knew we were onto something. And then this past October the 3rd, 2020, we had our all-day event where it was from 9:45 till 4:30 at night. And we had, Julie, 100% retention for that whole day. So we knew something was there. And much like you're feeling now, is if we can catch the people that are just starting to dip it, it's been 6 months, starting to dip down, that we can just give them a little spring in their step again with a little touch of gas. With some a little touch of gas on, it's time to put your foot on that gas again, take that break off and have two very unique people such as yourself and Randy McNeeling, the Chief Kindness Officer. And he's got a really great story to share as well, because his life in the last 30 days has definitely taken a really huge appreciation move in his life. And he's very excited to share his a new journey with us. And just to kind of, you got to keep top of mind. And that's his formula is every day you've got to be intentful. So instead of trying to think in the moment, wake up and go, okay, who can I give some gratitude today? Or show some appreciation today? Who can I be thankful for today? And so we're just kind of catching them, a little swoop in and kind of lifting them back up. And we had so many people that said, oh, I didn't know about it. I want to come. I want to come again. So we want to meet the people where they are around the world. So that's why
I think our biggest piece with our Gratitude Appreciation Summit, short G.A.S for short, and that's really the base of it, is where do we show up and step on the gas in our business, with our clientele, whether it's customer or your employees. Where do you step on the gas with one another in your family, right? Do you actually spend time having a good conversation with your family? And where do you show up and step on the gas for yourself as an individual? And that's really the premise of the whole philosophy, is where are you doing this? How are you doing it? And we are providing a platform to learn how to do that and ideas.
Yeah, I love the question you asked on the back of the card that you sent me, which of course is part of the DNA of both of you and what you do in business, is sending out the cards. And I love it. And you wrote, how do you show up in gratitude and appreciation in your business, to one another, and with yourself, right? And that to me is really the core of this whole gratitude practice, is that it isn't just one thing, one time, and it stays the same all the time. I personally have been intentionally practicing gratitude for over a decade now, and it's changed and flowed and ebbed. Some of my gratitude practices are solid and haven't changed, and there are the immovable blocks in my days, and other things that I do, of course, change and ebb and flow. So Kathy, I'd be curious to hear from you, when you think about your day or your week, where do your gratitude practices show up?
Oh, wow. Well, I had one this morning. I sort of look at who I've connected with recently and who has not been connected with. I always make sure when I'm teaching that I make a connection to every single student at least once a month on a personal level. And that's hard when you have over 300 kids, right?
Yeah.
But I make that intentional connection. How did the basketball game? I knew you're on the basketball team. How was the basketball game last week? So you're showing interest. So you're creating a tangible, heart-centered request or statement or thanks or thank yous. And I don't really block out time for it. I'm very intuitive, and it comes to me, and I act on the promptings. And I've learned through Cody Bateman what that truly means, and what I thought I'd learn more from him, but I actually have been functioning that my entire life, I think, where I react, and what prompts me to do it, I just do it. Why think about it? It's instinctual. So I don't know. I think that answers your question.
Oh, I love it when people are tapped into their intuitive gifts. I think that's amazing. And I think the more of us that can actually tap into our intuitive gifts, the better it is for all of us. So
Yeah, it's all
yeah.
about stopping and smelling the roses, that old saying.
Yeah.
It's so true. We need to slow down. We need to slow down.
I think that's and Jeanette, I want to hear from you as well about that. But I think what you're saying about slowing down, it really is about, you know, I love listening to Brene Brown, right? I
Mm,
just love her. She has 2 podcasts, Dare to Lead, Unlocking Us. And I was just listening to her. She has like a double episode. And she mentioned about how, once the pandemic is over, right? Once, we have the herd immunity, enough vaccinations, that we can move about more freely, I guess is what we're aiming for, is that are we going to turn around and all of a sudden rush back into the lives we had before without deciding what parts didn't work and weren't working? And that slowing down, that gift of slowing down. Now, I'll be clear that not everybody has had that gift this year, depending on the profession that you're in, especially if you're a healthcare worker, your life has probably gone in the opposite direction where you're completely unbalanced and burnt out and overworked. That's another, situation there. And that's why we have to continue, right? We were so grateful for them at the beginning. Let's be more, continue to be grateful for them now. So I think that point about slowing down is just so important. We just need to, keep that in the back of our minds, right? I see Jeanette's nodding her head. So Jeanette, tell me a little bit about what that means for you, but also does gratitude show up for you?
I do something every morning called bed meditation.
Okay.
Is what I call. I open my eyes, and lately, I live on a farm, so the sun is coming through, even though my blackout curtain's a little bit earlier, and I just wake up and just start saying thank you for my bed that I'm laying in, thank you for the covers that are keeping me warm, thank you. And I start, thank you for the coffee I'm about to take, thank you for the roof over my head, thank you for the people that I met yesterday on Zoom. And I just start saying thank you for this day that I'm going to be having, thank you. And then my mind will start to wander to my day, because I look at my calendar the night before, and that'll start to sneak in, and I'll go, oh no, this is thank you time, and kind of bring myself back to thank you. And then amen, like I kind of do an amen, and that kind of gives myself, it's almost the permission so I can get up and go use the washroom in the morning. I do this before that as I'm snuggled in. And then my alarm goes off. So it's very special that I'm waking up before my alarm, because I'm waking up in gratitude. And I also do the same bed meditation before I go to sleep, is kind of laying in bed. Thank you for today. Thank you for, oh my gosh, wasn't that a cool experience? And I kind of just relive 3 or 4 thank you statements. I'm also a moderator on a daily gratitude Facebook page that has over 10,500 people in it. And every day I get up, make coffee, cuddle into the corner, and I write my 3 gratitude statements within our group. And that's how I start my day. And what's happened since, no, evolved and seeded. Yeah, evolved and seeded is, that's my time. And when Kathy says about our manifesto of how do we take care of ourselves, this is how I step on the gas for myself in the morning before I step on the gas for my clients, step on the gas for my community, is taking care of myself first of all.
Those bookends of the day where you do something for you at the beginning and the end of the day, it is really the part of the day we have the most control over. And so I encourage people often, if they're looking to where to start their gratitude, just find time in those bookends of the day. You mentioned briefly this gratitude. Is it a page group?
It's a private Facebook page that I started adding content to it, or subscribe to it. And the lady reached out to me and she said, would you like to be a moderator? I see what you're posting. You're very actively involved. She didn't know that, Kathy and I were involved with the Gratitude and Appreciation Summit. And I went, are you kidding me? You want me to help you with these, I got 10,000 of my people all of a sudden, and it was just amazing. And Kathy's part of the group now. And this is the coolest thing that's evolved out of it, Julie, is no fooling. On April the 1st, I reached out to her And we're going to have an early edition of Thankful Thursday Reflection, no fool, any April 1st. And we're going to interview her on why a year and a half ago she started this gratitude from one person, and now it's almost approaching 11,000 people in the group.
Well, like I'm so interested in it. I'd love to be part of this because gratitude accountability is the hardest thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? Being accountable. And do we want to be in another Facebook group? No. But do I want to be in a Facebook group that's like about gratitude? Because I've started a Facebook group myself, for gratitude ambassadors, but picking up momentum is very challenging in a Facebook group. So this sounds interesting. If it's something we can share in the links, let us know. If not, just invite me privately and we'll just pretend that this conversation
You're in.
You're in.
Okay. Sounds amazing. So ladies, okay, so let's review the date and time again. So Kathy, date, time, and where do we get our registration for this?
All right. So
no cost to attend, right?
Yeah, April 24th. Our website is G.A.S Summit with one S, gassummit.ca, and you can register right there. And we are asking people to come on at 9:45 because we've got some stuff before the show starts with our two guests. We also have a charity. One of our mantras with our summit is giving back to the community. This is not a project where we are looking on making a profit. This is coming from our hearts. This is who we are. This is our legacy. And part of that is having different charities that we give back to. So those are the three features on April 24th, gassummit.ca with one S. It's a nominal fee. It's just to help cover our costs with our website and all the other little costs that come into play, right, Jeanette?
Yes.
Yeah. And then, and those people here, I'll share this with this group today, that if you attend our April 24th event, you'll actually get a discount for our main event on October 1st and 2nd. And that's our main event.
Okay.
And it's 2 days. The Friday, October 1st is geared towards business owners. Mm-hmm. So we have speakers lined up for business. Yep. And then on the Saturday, it's for everybody else. And I can't tell you any more than that, but it's going to be epic. And we are so thrilled to have you coming on. So those of you watching this podcast, yes, you'll hear the one and only Julie. We are so excited to have you on board for April 24th because it's going to be fabulous.
Fantastic. I'm excited too. And so if people also is there a way for people to also donate? Like, can they donate more? Like, is there fund?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. On our website, we have a donate button that you can donate to Access Youth, as well as when you register for your ticket, we've put a nice handy link on our Eventbrite that if you wanted to donate right then and there. So you just have one transaction going through.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah.
I love it.
The Access Youth, I'll just share a little bit. Sorry, Jeanette. The Access Youth is based in the Tri-Cities, but we changed the charities for each of our events. Okay. We try and keep it local. And the Access Youth is a group of teens that are delivering meals to families in need, financial need due to COVID. And then they have a professional chef that does the cooking lesson online for those families to know how to make the meals from the packages they get. So it's a really, really good cause. So just had to throw that in there.
Oh, I was going to ask anyways to tell me more about it. So I'm glad that you did, because I do think what's really, even though you're attracting people from all over the world, I think it is important that charity starts in our own backyard and with our local communities. And charities need us more than ever because traditional fundraising events did not happen in 2020. And there are more people that are in need than ever before, especially around food insecurity. So what I love about I've seen you post about this charity, and what I love is that it gives teens a place to give back, right? But it's also you're not just you're not just giving the man a fish, you're teaching the man how to fish. And I mean man, like all humans, but that is the part, right? It's not just here's your meal, it's let's teach you how to cook.
Yeah.
So that's a great way to support the community. Well, ladies, I'm excited for the mini summit, and obviously really excited for what's going to come in October. There's just this beautiful alignment with gratitude. I know that you are on Instagram and Facebook. What's the handle, Jeanette?
We are Gratitude and Appreciation Summit on Facebook,
Okay.
Gratitude and Appreciation Summit on Twitter,
Okay.
Gratitude and Appreciation Summit on Instagram,
Awesome.
and we are Gratitude and Appreciation Summit on LinkedIn as well.
Fantastic.
And there is an opportunity when you go onto our website, as Kathy instructed our website, that if you feel that you want to sponsor us, come along with the ride, and we have some sponsorship opportunities as well, and really good packages that if you want your company aligned with two amazing ladies and two amazing words in this world, such as gratitude and appreciation, we'd love to have you on this journey as we are building a foundation through various different stories. And this is what's so powerful for me and the original vision is those different colors of hearts. I truly believe there isn't an original thought. Humanity has been on this planet for a long time, but there is an original delivery. And when that person is originally delivering their message of gratitude or appreciation, the receiver of that, if it's 1% change in them, we've done our job. We've done our job in that person receiving the message that they need it delivered by the story connected to it. And we've done our job. But our job's not done yet because we have lots more.
This is just the beginning.
Just the beginning.
Yeah, this isn't a one time, one and done. This is really.
We're living our legacy.
Yeah, you're living a legacy.
There's not many people in this world that can raise their hands high and say, we are living our legacy right now and forever.
Well, ladies, I've loved our time together, just chatting about gratitude and all things gratitude and this incredible vision that you have for the Gratitude and Appreciation Summit, what we're bringing to the world through gratitude. I love that you've created an actual event and of course, weekly things on social media to remind people of the real value of not only practicing gratitude, but showing our appreciation for others. So just a huge thank you, ladies, for being a part of the podcast today.
Thank you so much, Julie, for having us.
Thank you.
All right.